Okay, so for some of you who've actually been around the channel for a little bit, you would know that I've read Blue Lock, honestly a concerning amount of time at this point, but it's fine, we push. I've gone over my favorite goals, most disrespectful moments, hell, I'm even breaking down my favorite character soon. Also, sorry for blue ballsing you guys with that Nagi video, it's gonna be a W, I promise, my bad. But one question I've actually not answered yet, to my surprise especially, is what my favorite chapter is in the entirety of the Blue Lock manga. Someone in my Discord asked me this the other day. By the way, go join the Discord, link in the description. It is so worth it. Best Blue Lock Discord out there. And honestly, when he first asked me, it took me a second to think about it, but to be fair, I mean, can you blame me? We got so many god tier chapters back to back, Drake is never gonna want to hear about it ever again. But thankfully, I happened to be reading the U20 arc around this time, and the answer quickly became a no-brainer. But before we get into that, I gotta take a second because, dear God, I love you guys so much. Seriously, 16K right now, absurd. Again, the growth on this channel has been absolutely insane, and I can't thank you guys enough for rocking with me up to this point. So let's keep on pushing to 20K and then just keep on going from there. With that said, grab some snacks, fill them cups, and as much as it pains me to say, I am still on the mom truce. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Now, when considering what makes some of Blue Lock's best chapters as good as they are, we notice that they have a few things in common. It would normally consist of some high-stakes drama, accompanied by an intense, fast-paced game, and normally have a goated panel or disrespectful moment accompanying it. From Isagi stealing the goal from Rin and Shido to end the third selection, to the heartbreaking loss suffered when the ball randomly, mercilessly, and cruelly descended upon its victor, we've seen some ridiculously amazing chapters that are great for many of their own reasons. Whether it simply be the level of action or perhaps the story playing with the reader's feelings just a bit, we all have a favorite chapter for one reason or another. However, what if I told you that there was one chapter which encapsulates all of these factors, taking part at the highest intensity scenario we've seen in the manga thus far, possessing not only god tier artwork, but some of the highest emotional resonance we've seen in the story thus far? The chapter in question, as some of you may have guessed by now, is 147. Some of you guys may have been like, oh, Clamp obvious pick, what the hell's going on? But some of you guys don't even know what chapter this is, so sit down and shut your mouths really quick as I explain to you guys how this is not only my favorite chapter in the entirety of the Blue Lock manga, but objectively the most perfect chapter of Blue Lock we will ever see. Allow me to jog your memory really quick and take you back to the U20 game, specifically the game's dramatic final play. Really quick, I have to set the stage in case you're unfamiliar or you forgot. With time winding down, the Blue Lock 11 and Japan U20 team find themselves in a stalemate. The score's 3-3, it's the 89th minute of regulation, and the ball is at the mercy of the child prodigy Atoshi Sai, who is quickly confronted by a primal Rin, whose hatred towards his brother is fueling his ego, allowing him to surpass his prior limitations and entering his berserker flow state. The entire game seemingly leading up to this moment, that being one final showdown between brothers. One out for revenge, and the other out to destroy any remnants of his younger siblings' love and admiration. For obvious reasons, there is a stupid amount of emotional weight behind this one. We were exposed to the backstory of Rin and Sai throughout the match, and it's made clear their relationship, at least on the surface, is pretty messed up to say the least. Add to this something I've noticed as I've reread the U20 match more and more, it becomes clear to me that for most of the match at least, even though we see everything through Isagi's perspective, the main character for most of the time throughout the match is actually Rin. He has some of the most time on page, is arguably the most impactful player in the first half, and without a doubt had the most character development compared to anybody else, as we got not only his tragic backstory, but some of the most characterization we've seen for anybody outside of Isagi. To me, this makes this chapter hit harder and harder every single time I read it, as I grow to feel for Rin as the match went on. I wanted to see him succeed, not only because he was fighting to save Blue Lock, the same exact task our MC is trying to accomplish, but because of how badly he wanted it. There wasn't a single person on that field that wanted the win as much as Rin did, not even Isagi, and this was because it's more than soccer to him. This game was personal. It's been almost years up to this point, and ever since that fateful snowy night, the only thing Rin has ever set out to accomplish was to destroy his older brother. This chapter is where he actually gets his chance, and of course, it's probably the most beautiful sequence we've seen in the entirety of the manga. The chapter quickly opens with a flashback we were shown early on, just Sai asking Rin to play soccer with him, calling back to the moment that led them to this calamitous final showdown in the game's closing stages. To the left, to the right, Back, forth, hyperspeed scissors, a scorpion kick rainbow. Sai was in his bag here, genuinely, but it was not enough to get past the awakened egoist across from him. The two are so evenly matched at this point, recreating the exact same moments from their prior engagement in this match, however, with Reen looking like a much more formidable force this time around. The two brothers are going blow for blow, neither one of them is giving a second to breathe when it all comes down to one final move. This is the moment where I believe Itoshi Sai truly went all out, at least for one instance, as we see his aura and overall design are intensified, with his eyes blacked out, which normally symbolize he's reached his flow state. In this moment, Sai blitzes towards his little brother, attempting to end the battle with his signature Elastico Nutmeg, only for the unthinkable to happen. In this moment, Itoshi Rin, in his Berserker flow state, manages to stop Japan's prodigal son, deflecting the ball off his right foot over the head of the final wall all over Aiku, and dropping poetically at the feet of the egoist Isagi Yoichi. Game, set, match. The Blue Lock 11 have defeated the Japan U20 team. Genuinely, there is just so much I could talk about when it comes to this chapter. All I really touched upon was the weight of the Itoshi battle, when in reality the ending was foreshadowed to us not just in the previous chapter, but all the way back in the second selection. As we can recall, Reen managed to defeat Isagi in the 4v4 simply due to luck. From here, we learned the fundamental principles of luck and how it pertains to football specifically. Basically, that luck pertains to every factor of the game, and true strikers are those who know how to get luck on their side. In this moment, Isagi shows seeds of not only his metavision, but being able to read Reen's egocentrism, managed to predict the most optimal spot for him to score by having complete faith that Reen would surpass Sai, something only a true egoist would have been able to pull off in a moment like that. The most important game of soccer in the history of Japan, decided by a teenager who, a few months ago, was a completely nameless nobody. We get to see Isagi's journey from the start, making this gorgeous panel feel even better, as it's not only deserved for the growth we've seen from him, not only in his play, but in his mindset especially. And truly, just from like a basic story perspective, I can't think of a better way to have ended the Japan U20 game than with our MC becoming the hero of Japan, as he runs into the arms of his elated teammates, bringing it close to not only the greatest game in Blue Lock so far, but the most perfect Blue Lock chapter we will ever see. Okay. That's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I really do appreciate it. I have absolutely been dying to talk about this chapter, and I'm glad I finally got around to talking about it with you guys. So if you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, as well as consider subscribing to the channel with post notifications turned on, so you never miss some more peak content from myself, because, you know, I'm like that. Let me know in the comments down below what your personal favorite chapter is in the entirety of the Blue Lock manga, and that's all I got for you today. Love you guys. Take it easy.